Good evening. Today is June 16th, Wednesday, June 16th. And welcome to Santosha Recovery Sangha Gathering. Tonight's topic is how to find peace in a not so friendly or not so peaceful world. So we're going to start by listening to just a few minutes of Ram Dass. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I wanted to show this part of his website here. It's actually some people have developed this website based on his teachings. And so ramdas.org is the URL of this website. There's all kinds of offerings and teachings, events, podcasts. So, if you don't like to read things, you can go ahead and, put on your headphones or while you're driving, listen to some of these teachings that he has. A lot of the teachings in Santosha Recovery are based on my experience with his teachings. I really resonate with how he presents world peace, not only world peace, but just getting along in this world and finding connection and love and Santosha with our own being. So this is from his Here and Now podcast, When Worlds Collide. And again, it's just probably a 4-minute snippet. You don't have to take notes, of course, because this is a recording, so you can listen to it or you can get on his website and listen to it. But I'm also going to do a PowerPoint after this to just really talk about what he has to say, because he says it pretty quickly here. So I want to kind of reiterate it. So here we go. We'll listen to what he has to say.
How can we help there be world peace? Well, part of that answer is that that you have to be a peaceful person. That when you're trying to bring about world peace with either fear or anger, what you perpetuate, for example, with fear, if you act to end the nuclear madness with fear because you're attached to your separateness and you're afraid of death, then that fear is what you put into the society, and the fear is the root cause of the bomb in the first place, so that you're trying to get rid of the symptom, but you're feeding the cause. So what you have to do really is work on yourself pretty hard to be a statement of what it is you would like the universe to be, which is a peaceful place. Whether or not the world is to be peaceful in the sense of it's all over and everybody's at peace, I'm not sure about that. I really have a sense that this plane, as Buddha said, you know who gets born here? He said people that have greed and lust, agitations, hostility, sloth and torpor and doubt. Those are the 5 hindrances. Then you've got the 10 fetters and you got the 22 no-nos. I mean, we're a motley crew to begin with, and it's hard to imagine that we're all going to sit down with the, with the lambs. And it may well be, it's like my human heart will work to make heaven of earth, even though I know there's a heaven and that this is earth. And this has a certain stuff to do. And what I have to learn to do is be peaceful in my being with the universe the way it is, including doing everything I can to make it more peaceful, but not getting caught in whether it ends up peaceful or not. That's the trap. It's what the Bhagavad Gita says, do what you do, but be not attached to the fruits of your actions. That's the secret of Dharma. Questions?
Okay, a lot of powerful messages in that few minutes and few words. So we'll kind of go through this a little bit slower here. So when worlds collide, oops. How can we help there be world peace? And he says, you have to be a peaceful person. So he's really talking about starting within. So finding peace within ourselves. You have to be a peaceful person. If you have fear or anger, that is what you will put into society. So a lot of what is going on right now is there is so much anger and fear into the world, and it's just like you're feeding the fire. He talks about just having this, everybody's like power hungry, and power hungry is from being fearful. You're fearful of others. You fear that somebody's going to take your stuff, and you're fearful of this. And so you build fences, and you lock your houses, and gosh, these days people are shooting people for pulling in your driveway. So it's out of fear, and it's out of like a power hungry and anger that the world is not at peace. So if we have fear and we have anger, then we're just adding to that. It's not going to make the world more peaceful. It's just adding to that. It's just like adding gasoline to the fire. So what he's saying is that in order to find real peace, we have to be a peaceful person. And just to reiterate, you're feeding the cause. I mean, that's whole, he talks about the nuclear, interesting, because that's exactly what we got going on right now in the real world, with Iran. And it's like, everybody's fearful. Everybody's running around fearful. And if you're going to be fearful, and you're just going to be feeding the cause, and it's just going to exacerbate and just make the problems worse. He also says, so everything in purple is what he says. You have to work pretty hard to be a statement of what it is you want to be, a peaceful place to live in. And you do have to work pretty hard. It's tough. You have to work pretty hard to be a statement of what it is you want the world to be, a peaceful place to live in. He then goes on to say that whether or not the world can be peaceful in the sense that we are all living harmoniously with each other and all beings is probably impossible. We're all here, this is me talking, we're all here working out our karma and neuroses, right? So, yeah, the world is what it is. The world is absolutely what it is. Everybody's here working out their karma. Not everybody thinks about that, though. They think there's, life is linear, and they gotta get what they can get in this lifetime, because there's nothing else after this. So, they have no incentive to, or have no awareness that we are all here just working on our own karma, and that we're all here just working on becoming more peaceful with ourselves and evolving spiritually. We're all here working out our karma and neuroses. So world peace is probably really not going to happen. But we can contribute to that peace by working on ourselves, right? So if we realize that what we're doing in life is to evolve spiritually, which just means, finding a connection with that peaceful aspect of life, finding a connection to heaven or your gurus or your version of life or God, and finding that connection and healing all those things that we came here to heal, all the hurts and all the anger that we came here from other lifetimes, not only this lifetime but other lifetimes. So that's what we are here to do. He says that I have to be peaceful in my being with the universe the way that it is, including doing all that I can to make it more peaceful. So I'm just gonna insert a story here that just happened to me like Sunday, just recently Sunday. So that big storm came in on Sunday. And I was looking outside, just kind of watching the clouds come in, and across the street, my neighbor dog Bella was outside, and Bella's guardians, got in their truck and drove away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really going to storm, and you left Bella outside. I hope you make it quick. And sometimes they do. Sometimes I just run up to the corner gas station or whatever and get snacks and stuff and come back or whatever. It's none of my business what they were doing, but sometimes I notice they do take really short trips. So anyway, the storm comes in and they haven't gotten back, and Bella's out on a chain, and the storm comes in and it is just coming down. I mean, the rain is just coming down in sheets, coming down sideways, and there's like even little things of hail coming down. And they're still not back. And so I ran across the street and put Bella in their house. I knew the front porch would be open. And then I ran back. I was just soaked. But anyway, I get back and I'm just angry. I'm just angry that they were so irresponsibility and left Bella outside. You could tell it was going to storm. The clouds are all like the sky was dark and the clouds are just rolling in. And so I just had all this anger, and I was calling them every name in the book, and it was like I was gonna wait and just stand at the door until they got back. And I just really had all this anger. And it's like, what the heck? All of a sudden I just realized that I had all this anger. And so I'm like, that's just really not my normal attitude. So I'm like, where is this anger coming from? And well, some people say anger comes from within. So part of that could be that I still, just like layers of onions, I still have some work to do. I have some anger with them, but I also think that there's so much anger in the world. There's so much, the energy out there is just vibrating with fear and anger, that I maybe even kind of picked up on that. But with self-awareness, I was really kind of proud of myself. I was aware that I was doing that. And then I just said, you know what? I am just going to be Bella's guardian angel. I can just watch out, because I'm just going to let Bella's guardians, people that have control over Bella at this point, they're just going to be who they're going to be. I can't change that. I can help by maybe offering assistance, or just saying hi and just letting them know that they have a neighbor that really cares. But they're going to be who they're going to be. And I don't have to get upset about that. I can just be who I'm going to be. And who I'm going to be is I'm going to go over and let Bella in the house, because Bella was cowering in the rain. It was just coming down in sheets. And what an ending. It's like, now I was just like so happy, because it's like, oh my gosh, I get to be Bella's guardian angel. So that kind of made me happy. But I came back to that place where I am peaceful. The world may be a little chaotic out there, but that's okay. I have peace within myself. I have moral compass, moral stability in myself. I'm grounded. And so I know what makes me feel at peace and feel content. So I'm just going to repeat this because it's so important. I have to be peaceful in my being with the universe the way that it is. Don't expect the universe to change. Don't expect your neighbors to change. Don't expect our president to change. Don't expect anybody out there to change. We have to do all that we can do to find peace within ourselves. Then we radiate peace out into the world, and it works. It really it leaks out. Peace leaks out into the world. This is another interesting story. When I first moved to this neighborhood, it was just like crazy noisy, and just all kinds of just chaos. And it's like, and I'm not taking credit for this, but I'm just saying, there's this thing where it says, gosh, this is a crazy neighborhood, so I'm going to leave. or I can stay and be my peaceful self and do my meditation and my mantra. And maybe just the little community around me or the little universe around me starts to feel that and becomes a little bit more peaceful and calm. And right now it is. We got a really kind of calm and quiet neighborhood. Things have really changed. So I'll just leave that at that. All right, so this is what Santosha recovery is about. The recovery, finding peace within ourselves, um, recovering from our karma, but recovering from just really that fear and anger that we're living in a world that we cannot control, because we cannot control. You're right. We cannot control what the world is doing, but we can control what's in here, and we can control with how we evolve. There's I just read this article too, and that really talks about as soon as your consciousness shifts with this, and we really do realize that we can only control ourselves. Once that consciousness does shift, we see things through a different lens. We see things through a different perspective than before, and also than others. And it's really incredible. So I'm just going to go through a couple of we'll discuss this after the as soon as we get done with these and after I shut off the recording. But also next week's class will also be more about all these practices in Santosha recovery that we have to help us find more peace within. So the first one is the Om Shanti teaching, and it's a powerful teaching, and there's a lot of quotes in there from Ram Dass too. So it is, you can find it on the website, santosharecovery.org /Om Shanti, but I'm going to share the screen of the website to show you how to get there. But this just talks about Shanti does mean peace. And it talks about changing the momentum of our negative thought patterns into more peaceful ones. And so if you do it as a practice, then you can easily do it in the real world. For example, or for instance, when I'm standing at the door getting angry at my neighbors, all of a sudden it's like it just dawned on me that I don't need to be doing this. I have a practice of being peaceful, and a practice of just being my moral self and doing what I need to do to feel peaceful. And then there's the loving awareness practice that we do pretty much every gathering, and the loving awareness practice, and I'll go ahead and take us there. The loving awareness practice is just really taking time to just sit with yourself in whatever state that you're feeling, whether you're feeling sad or joyful or fearful or anxious or whatever you're feeling, and just being okay with that. Let's see, I can't talk and change my share screen here at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So here's the Om Shanti teachings. So there's a whole teaching. Remember this: free them, free me, let the hurt be healed, let the karma be dissolved. So in all this finding peace, we are healing ourselves from our karma. And so that's what that means. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. So the next technique would be the loving awareness practice I was talking about. Here we go. And in this loving awareness practice, just being able to sit with ourselves in any emotional state in a listening and a compassionate way, instead of judging or shaming or blaming. And again, it's a practice. Practice means that we'd have to do it over and over again. Because you know, shame and blame and judgment will come in as you're sitting. Well, I shouldn't be feeling this way, or blah 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 blah, or you know, I'm feeling this way because somebody else did this, blah 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 blah. So just really, it takes a practice to quiet the mind, to be able to just sit with yourself in those emotions without telling a story, without judgment. And what will happen is those feelings of fear or guilt or grief or anger, they'll dissolve. They'll dissolve into the state of compassion for life, for yourself. They'll move into more of a loving awareness. And so it's really an incredible practice to do. And you can do this on your own. It's not really hard. You just sit and close your eyes and just sit with the feeling state. But if you would like, I have 3 scripts here. So all these are scripts. They're about 10 minutes long, talking you through a loving awareness practice. So 3 different sets. So, you know, if you need to just kind of figure out where to go, sometimes it's nice to be guided through a practice. So feel free to use this. That's what they're there for. All right, and part of that is really like also processing our emotions. So that's another absolute way to bring more peace into your life, is learn how to process your emotions. And that's what the loving awareness practice is for, excuse me. Great, and then we'll go back to the PowerPoint here. Another practice is target reflection. So even like after your loving awareness practice, so if maybe you did have a judgment for yourself or somewhere else, for someone else, and you just couldn't get that to resolve, reflect upon it. Just sit there and just kind of like, wow, where is this coming from? This is coming from, you know, a past hurt, or, you know, why am I so concerned what other people think? And so just kind of reflecting, take time to reflect on that. And then journaling, not only journaling on your reflection, but just journaling. Like I was actually, I'm going to ask you to do this after the recording, is what brings you peace and calm. So just journal, like, what does bring you peace and calm. So for me, it's really being in nature. When I'm in nature, I forget the world. You know, I'm just being in the moment and enjoying the smells of being in nature, enjoying the greenery or the flowers or even the snow if it's cold, the crisp air, whatever is in the air at the time. So you know, what brings you peace and calm, and then do it. I recently you know, bought an electric piano so that I could just make music, and that brings me peace and calm. So actually, anytime I'm in the present moment, it brings me peace and calm. So so that's something you can journal about and think about and reflect about. I should include it, being in the present moment, because that is certainly number one on really finding peace and calm. And so maybe I'll even make that, I'll make a note here to really bring that into next week's class, present moment living. And then another thing to journal is what obstacles have you overcome to find this peace? And these obstacles don't have to be like huge, you know, changes in your life. They can be small little, like small little challenges that you have overcome. So just kind of writing down some of those challenges. I remember a big challenge. I remember the first time that I really took Kriya, which is intentional action, is when I learned very young, like I was probably going to school, so maybe like first grade, and I learned from some of the kids that made fun of me when I said wash, when I was washing my clothes. And I, that's how I grew up, right? So my mom always said, wash your clothes. So bring your clothes over so we can wash them. And so I found out that there wasn't an R in wash, and I was like, oh my God, I got to do something about this. And it was a really huge obstacle because that word was just in my brain. Talk about grooves, samskaras, grooves in the brain. Those are samskaras. So I had wash and wash and wash. And so I would say wash. I was like, no, it's wash, So I just like really took intentional action and just really worked really hard to overcome that. And I did it. And then like remember my mom's like, wash, like, you're gonna wash your clothes, aren't you? And I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, it was actually it was like, I don't know if that helped me find peace, but it helped me find confidence in myself and contentment in myself. It really gave me kind of power, right? Because it was like, wow, I really want to change this. I don't want to wash my clothes anymore. I want to wash them. And so I really, so anyway, that's, just kind of think of those, because when we do that, it does give us confidence, and it does give us that moral, like, spark, to ignite more, consciousness like this, more kriyas and more consciousness. So, obstacles that you have overcome to find this peace, and then go do that. So we're just gonna talk about the loving kindness meditation. I'll mention this, but we will, after the discretion, we will be doing this meditation together. So this is a loving kindness meditation. You could even Google loving kindness meditation, and this is what it is. But it's asking these things of ourselves. So may I be happy? May I be healthy? May I be safe? May I be free? And that free is really, it's not like free to go out and do what you want to do. Free is free from negative thinking, free from our karma. So start to think in ways like that. And then some versions will have you do it, may my close friends be happy, may my close friends be healthy. And then they might have you do it to maybe, not people that are not so close to you. But I'm just, for the sake of not writing it all down, and just for you can change it up if you want. So I'm just going to change it up this way. So then this second part of this is asking that all sentient beings be happy. Now this may be hard. But just think, if all sentient beings were happy, and healthy and safe and free to make their choices, and free from their karma, and free from negative thinking, that it would be a different world. So loving kindness meditation is really bringing peace into your own being, asking for those things for yourself, and then really sending those same messages and same greetings of peace out to all sentient beings. All right, so I hope you find some good information in this, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the share, and we will continue with discussion and mantra. Thank you.